Straight ahead on OC News, we will be getting an inside look on the newly remodeled TSU at Cal State Fullerton.
And two strong earthquakes rattle central Italy. We will have the details.
And Donald Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame has been vandalized. These stories plus sports and entertainment. OC News starts right now.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us at OC News. I'm Imani Jackson.
And I'm Lena Joseph. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton. After much anticipation, the brand new TSU is finally open. After 2 years in the making and many months of construction, the new space is ready to be enjoyed. Vivian Chow gives us a peek inside.
Students rejoice because the new TSU is finally here. A grand opening ceremony took place last Thursday to officially welcome staff and students to the new facility.
3, 2, 1,
With over 20,000 square feet of new space, students are finally rewarded after many months of construction. Reactions to the new place have been generally positive.
Overall, first impression of the TSU was just seeing how big it was. Also knowing that there's 40,000 students on this campus, like where is everyone going to be put anyways? But just seeing it firsthand, I thought it was really amazing. I thought it was beautiful.
And I was pretty excited about it when I first saw it, but it looks really, really nice in person.
I think it's really great. I mean, knowing about what was going to happen, like the construction and everything, I didn't really think it was going to be this big.
When I walked in, I was kind of blown away by how big everything was and how it looked like the stuff that was on the construction walls. So and it's really nice. I really liked it.
With a bright, open floor plan, the TSU makes the most of the California sunshine with plenty of floor-to-ceiling windows. The eye-catching modular seating encourages interaction and laid-back lounging. And what everyone loves most of all?
Plug-in stations for chargers. I like that there's a lot of plugs.
I love that they included plugs on most spaces, the idea of people that need to be charging their stuff.
With a relaxed atmosphere and plenty of room for everyone, the TSU now fosters a sense of community.
I definitely think it's going to bring more students together. It's a gathering place, it's a Titan Student Union, and so having a bigger space for, a large amount of students, this is definitely the most students I've seen in the Titan Student Union in a very long time. So I definitely think it's already doing its job, which is to bring unity to our campus.
From OC News, I'm Vivian Chow.
In a devastating turn of events, not one but two earthquakes have hit central Italy today within the same time frame. Damaged buildings and homes sent frightened residents into the streets. A 5.5 magnitude earthquake struck at around 12 p.m. this afternoon near Viso in Macerata province. It was followed 2 hours later by a 6.1 magnitude earthquake in the same area. One person was hurt, but there are no reports of any deaths caused by the earthquakes. The rumbling caused by the earthquake could be felt in Rome, Venice, and Naples. This earthquake comes nearly 2 months after a powerful 6.2 magnitude earthquake struck central Italy, killing almost 300 people.
Dislike for Trump has reached an all-time high as his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame has been destroyed. Early Wednesday morning, a man dressed as a construction worker took a sledgehammer and a pickaxe to Trump's star, attempting to remove it. A witness, Mr. Payton, said he had been walking on Hollywood Boulevard near the intersection of Highland Avenue to a meeting when he saw a man dressed in an LA construction gear. The man, quote, suddenly picked up the sledgehammer and started smashing the bejesus out of the Trump star, end quote. According to Mr. Patton, the man smashed Trump's star for about 5 minutes before he felled the scene. Police have identified the man as Jamie Otis, but as of right now, his identity cannot be confirmed. In an email from Anna Martinez, who is a spokeswoman for then Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, which administers the Hollywood Walk of Fame, said the star would be replaced. As of right now, the vandalized area has been secured and a tent has been placed over the star.
Only 1 week away from the presidential election, Raylan Taylor has more.
On Monday, CSUF encouraged students to register to vote one final time. The rush is on as CSUF promotes its last day to register to vote.
Cal State Fullerton's Lobby Corps has invited all the candidates who are running in this election this year to come out and talk to students, engage with them, and tell them a little bit about their platform and what they stand for. And we're just trying to get students to register to vote. Our goal was to get 10% of the student body to register to vote. Today's the last day. We got about half of that, so we're considering that a win, considering how difficult it is to get the youth population to come out and register.
Some were very candid about who they were supporting.
I'm supporting Sharon Quirksell for State Assembly because she's going to make college more affordable and she's going to be really a great voice in this community.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you.
There were also many fun perks at this event.
Go back. Are you registered to vote? Yeah. Awesome.
Pictures with Tuffy the Titan and puppy therapy. The American Heart Association says that dogs are supposed to release anxiety. I guess we should tell this to our presidential candidates. For OC News, I'm Raylan Taylor. Now remember, if you're registered, you've already won half the battle. Go on and take the next step by going out to the polls on Tuesday, November 8th. Speaking of polls, once you're in that booth, the presidential candidates aren't the only ones who will appear on the ballot. There are also many propositions listed that could greatly affect us living here in California. There's a lot of heated debate over Proposition 61. If passed, state agencies would be required to pay the same price the Department of Veteran Affairs pays for prescription drugs. This prop is said to have the most money spent on it in California history. The amount, $123 million. Here's what you need to know.
What do we want? Lower prices. When do we want them?
Now. In California, there's a groundswell of support for lower drug prices.
We are tired of the profiteering, such as the EpiPen mess, with its 400% price increase.
It's not just the EpiPen, but other medications that many Californians find themselves unable to afford.
And what they wind up doing is they reduce the amount of medication they're taking, or they don't even fill their prescriptions.
Supporters say Prop 61 is the best way to change the system.
It's time to do something about the runaway drug prices.
Under Prop 61, state agencies would, in theory, pay the lowest price for prescription drugs, the same price paid by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, which buys drugs at a deep discount.
So when you vote for this, you're voting for a chance to be able to afford drugs to stay well.
But opponents of Prop 61 include a virtual army of veterans groups. Pete Conity is a Vietnam vet.
24 other veterans groups are opposed to this proposition because it's going to hurt veterans.
Opponents insist that Prop 61 will actually harm the very group it's designed to help.
We're afraid that the VA will reduce services and raise co-payments, and that's why the VFW, American Legion, Vietnam Veterans of America, and others are opposed to Proposition 61.
It could increase drug costs for the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs by $3.8 billion.
Those figures come from this VA memo analyzing the potential effects of Prop 61. The Nonpartisan Legislative Analyst's Office also took an in-depth look at Prop 61, concluding that any savings is highly uncertain because many of the drugs prescribed under Medi-Cal are exempt, and drug manufacturers might choose to raise drug prices at the VA. What's more, the VA is allowed to keep some of its prescription drug prices confidential, making it difficult for state agencies to know if they are truly paying less for drugs should Prop 61 pass.
Physicians groups are opposed, the California Medical Association, we've got taxpayer groups opposed, we've got members of the HIV and AIDS advocacy community and members of the LGBT community.
But AARP, which represents millions of seniors, is strongly supporting Prop 61.
I'm 67 years old, and I speak for many older Californians who say we are tired of scandal after scandal after scandal on the part of the RX industry.
The battle over pill prices is proving divisive for those who need them most.
We understand the problem with high drug prices, and we're not defending the drug companies. What we're saying is this measure is so badly and poorly written that it's going to hurt veterans.
Well, our presidential candidates are still campaigning hard before the big day next week. Hillary Clinton was out on the trail in Florida on a very special day, her birthday. Today, she turns 69, but she didn't let that stop her from speaking today in Florida. Donald Trump was also out promoting his new international hotel in Washington, D.C. Well, that's the latest in politics. Back to you.
The Department of Motor Vehicles is a dreaded place for most of us, but it was especially unpleasant when a catastrophic computer failure forced it to close its doors on Monday. The reasoning behind the crash has not been identified, but the DMV staff have been working vigorously to rebuild the system. DMV officials released a statement that offices would be up and running by Wednesday morning. However, more than 100 field offices in California are still closed. People have been turned away and wait times are more than an hour long. To find out if your local DMV office is still closed, contact the DMV through phone or visit their website.
Coming up, we will be getting a behind-the-scenes look on where the baseball bats are made from around the World Series. And would you believe it's right here in our local neighborhood?
Later, that means Titans soccer plans to finish their conference strong, hopefully leading us to victory.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
MLB season is coming to an end with the World Series. The NBA season is just starting up. Christian Egan has more.
We start off sports with exciting news from men's soccer. Cal State Fullerton men's soccer is trailing by only 1 point for the top spot in the Big West South. The Titans face division leader Cal State University Northridge at Titan Stadium tonight at 7 p.m. and battle UC Irvine in their final conference match of the year at Anteater Stadium Saturday at 7 o'clock. Tonight's match against the Matadors will be senior night as they honor all 9 seniors on this year's squad prior to the start of the match at 6:40. The world of professional sports was centered around Cleveland last night. At Quicken Loans Arena, the reigning champs, the Cleveland Cavaliers, held their ring ceremony at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then their opening game started at 7:30. While right next door at Progressive Field, Game 1 of the World Series started at 8 p.m. Eastern between the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs. The Cleveland Indians won the first game of the 2016 Fall Classic, shutting out the Cubs 6-0. Indians did it with great pitching from Corey Kluber, who went 7 1/3 innings.
That's on the inside corner, struck him out. Corey Kluber, the first to strike out 8 through 3 innings.
While Roberto Perez hit 2 big home runs to give the Indians 4 out of their 6 runs.
Type change. Here's a shot into left. That's pounded and gone. Home run. Roberto Perez. High fly ball into left. At the wall. Goodbye. 6-0. Indians.
What a night it was for the city of Cleveland and their fans. Game 2 of the World Series is currently underway on Fox, and right now the score is Chicago Cubs 2 and the Cleveland Indians 0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cleveland will be looking to go up 2-0 in the series over the Cubs. It's basically a must-win for the Cubs because teams that lead the World Series 2-0 have won the World Series 80% of the time. Cleveland knows that they're big underdogs, but this isn't something new. The Indians haven't won a World Series in 68 years. They're using it as motivation to hopefully end the drought this year. In other sports news, it's opening night at the Staples Center for the Lakers, who will be playing the Houston Rockets. The game will tip off at 7:30. Lakers are looking to improve from last season, where they finished with the third worst record in the NBA. This will be Luke Walton's first game as the Lakers head coach. There's a familiar face on the Houston Rockets. Cal State Fullerton great Bobby Brown made the Houston Rockets 15-man roster for the 2016-2017 NBA season, as final cuts were announced Monday. While at Cal State Fullerton, Brown averaged 16.9 points per game, 4.4 assists per game, and he led the Titans in scoring for his final 2 years, while leading Cal State Fullerton in assists through his career. That's it for sports. Tune in to OC News every week to stay up to date on all the biggest sports stories. Back to you ladies at the desk.
Earlier in the week, you were probably ready to bring out the rain boots, but today the sun was shining on all of us. Now that's just like California, right? Miranda is here to tell us more about the upcoming forecast. Miranda?
Yes, that's right, Imani. On Monday, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely woke up to some crazy thunderstorms, and I thought it was going to be cooler all week. But as we did say, it was a little bit sunshiny today, and we had a little bit of winds. They were a little bit more chilly. So let's look at the current temperatures in Fullerton. It was a high around 80 degrees, and then the low is going to be around 58 later tonight. The sun is expected to set around 6:04 this evening, so then it's going to get a little bit cooler later today. Now let's take a look at the 5-day forecast for our Halloween weekend. I'm going to just get out of the way here. So for Thursday, we are going to see some sunshiny again, high around 83 and the low around 64. Now, swerve again, Fullerton on Friday morning, you are going to have some light showers in the morning. High is going to be around 77, the low is going to be around 60. So let's look at these weekend temperatures for your Halloween weekend plans. On Saturday morning, it's going to be partly cloudy, around 78 in the high, 61 in the low. And then around Sunday, partly cloudy in the morning again, 73 and 55 in the low. And for Halloween, if you are going to take the family trick-or-treating, all day it's going to be a little bit sunnier, high in 72, low in 55. Now let's shift over to our national weather. Around over in Seattle, they're getting some cooler weathers around 59. San Fran, 67. Los Angeles, 79. Salt Lake City, 73, and then we do have around Kansas City, 72, and then let me just move over here. Around on the East Coast, we do have in New York, 51. If only we can get some cooler temperatures. I'm about ready for the colder weather. And then around in the South, we do have in Tampa, 86, and in Miami, 81. That's all I have for weather. Hope you guys are safe on this Halloween weekend. Back to you, ladies.
Coming up, one of the presidential candidates gets a nice hello at Adele's concert.
Later, a study reveals interesting facts about the amount of alcohol women drink.
This and more after the break.
It's what powers our journey to reach unimaginable heights. It fosters a sense of yearning to create, explore, and soar. It strengthens our will to climb to the top. It's the bedrock of our conviction that nothing's impossible. It transforms us and sets us free to thrive and build lives of purpose. Titan pride is at the heart of who we are.
Celebrity's selfie may have broken not the internet this time, but the law. Our reporter Natalie Aguirre has the details.
Yes, and Hillary Clinton had a major victory this week. She actually got tickets to an Adele concert. The presidential candidate attended Adele's concert in Miami Tuesday night. During the concert, the British singer told fans not to vote for Republican nominee Donald Trump, adding she was 100% for Clinton. Although Adele can't vote in the U.S., she said America's next leader will have global influence that affects her too. And Justin Timberlake surely rocked the vote by voting early. The problem was he shared a picture of it with his 37 million followers on Instagram. Timberlake, who lives in California, flew home to Tennessee to take advantage of early voting in his hometown of Memphis. The singer posted a selfie on Instagram about to cast his ballot inside the polling station. This selfie could land him in trouble with the law. Last year, Tennessee's governor signed a bill allowing people to use their phones at polling stations for informational purposes, but prohibits taking photos or videos. In Tennessee, the misdemeanor crime of taking a photo inside a polling station is punishable by 30 days in jail and/or a $50 fine. There is currently no investigation on the matter, and the selfie has since been deleted from Timberlake's Instagram account. Paisley Park, Prince's recording lair, has officially become a museum. Representatives of the Paisley Park and Prince's estate announced on Tuesday that the complex has, quote, permanently opened its doors. The Chanhassen City Council in Minnesota has voted to rezone Princess Paisley Park as a permanent museum. The city initially put plans on hold, citing traffic and public safety concerns. According to the announcement by Paisley Park, tours will resume this Friday, and tickets will be available on the museum's website. And Lady Gaga surprised her little monsters on Tuesday with a carpool karaoke ride on The Late Late Show. Gaga, who just received her license a few months ago, had the chance to go behind the wheel during the ride. The singer revealed she can write a hit song in just 10 minutes and shared that she owns some 400 pieces of clothing belonging to Michael Jackson. Host James Corden sang along with Gaga in perfect harmony and even wore a version of her famous meat dress at one point during the ride. Lady Gaga has been very busy with her newest album, and she will also be the headliner for the 2017 Super Bowl halftime show. That's all for entertainment news. Back to you guys.
I can't wait for the halftime show. It's going to be great.
Right, I can't wait for her upcoming album. Women are now consuming just as much alcohol as men. Sugary drinks more than double your risk of getting diabetes, and STDs are all at the same high across the nation. Naomi Mendezer has the details on these stories.
A new study has found that women now consume just as much alcohol as men. According to the report published in the medical journal BMJ Open, 4 million people were analyzed between 1891 and 2001, and researchers discovered that historically, men were more likely to intake alcohol to unhealthy measures, whereas now women, especially as of recent, are now doing the same. The researchers grouped people by their birth date to look at the levels of alcohol consumption, and they considered any use, including quantities and frequency, heavy drinking or binge drinking, and any emotional connections to their drinking. There were reports of sexual conversions regarding alcohol, but no one had confirmed it, said Catherine M. Hayes, an associate professor of epidemiology at Columbia University. It is suspected that because traditional gender roles for women are changing, that could be the largest reason the gap between men and women are closing. The majority of the study was done in North America and Europe, so these results may just reflect Western trends. More research is needed to confirm that this is a global issue. Alcohol consumption leads to several long-term health issues, such as liver disease, short-term memory loss, high blood pressure, and heart disease. Women need to know that if they are struggling with alcohol addiction, that they are not alone and help is available. Speaking of unhealthy drinks, you might want to put down your daily cup of juice because drinking 2 or more sweetened drinks a day, whether it is real sugar or artificial, can more than double your risk of diabetes. Many people are deceived, especially by seemingly healthy fruit juices, but one 15-ounce bottle of Minute Maid's apple juice has 49 grams of sugar. That is equivalent to 10 Oreo cookies. And for those of you who rely on energy drinks to get you through your day, 1 can of Monster has 54 grams of sugar and is equal to 3.5 cups of Frosted Flakes. Josephine Edwall Loffenborg, a nutritionist at Karolinska Institute in Sweden, found that specifically with latent autoimmune disease, or LADA, a hybrid of type 1 and 2 diabetes, where insulin cells in the pancreas are destroyed, says these sugar spikes cause people to be less sensitive to insulin over time, making their medication less effective. Nutritionists urge people to trade their usual sweet beverages for water and to practice a healthy and active lifestyle. Practicing a healthy lifestyle also includes practicing safe sex. Cases of sexually transmitted diseases are at an all-time high according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. The annual report showed that chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis, the three most commonly reported STDs in the nation, had a large increase between 2014 and 2015. Although all three STDs are curable with antibiotics, most infections are undiagnosed or untreated. Dr. Jonathan Merman, the director of CDC's National Center for STDs, released a statement saying, "We must mobilize, rebuild, and expand our services, or the human and economic burden will continue to grow." Young people between 15 to 24 years old are the most affected, especially bisexual or gay men. But the most troublesome findings are the syphilis rates among newborns. There is an increase of congenital syphilis, which occurs when the infection is transmitted from pregnant woman to her baby, increased by 6% and resulted in 487 reported cases last year. As more and more STD cases surface, treating infections costs the country $16 billion annually. The CDC hopes that more access to education and treatment will be provided. That does it for health. Back to you guys in the studio.
Halloween is creeping upon us, but do you know what you're going to dress up as? Raquel has more on what costumes have been disappearing from the shelves at a local Halloween store.
It's coming. We are only 5 days away. There is no escape. People have been scaring each other for as long as there's been a Halloween, which is over 2,000 years. One night of the year, we get to dress up as someone else.
And you're never too old to dress up. Let's find out what the most popular costumes are at the moment.
This year we sold a lot of Harley Quinn costumes, but we sold out pretty fast. It was like everybody and their mom wanted to be Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad specifically, not the original one. We also sold out of Ash Ketchum and pretty much anything Pokemon really, really fast. Surprisingly, we sold a lot of Trump and Hillary. I was shocked by the amount of people that wanted to see the masks and actually purchase them. And then clowns, we didn't sell as many as, I thought would be expected that we would sell, especially with all the media.
As you can tell, I'm going to be a witch for Halloween. Let's find out what some Cal State Fullerton students are dressing up as this year.
I'm going to be a ref because I just want to give out like party fouls to people and like tell them like 5-yard penalties and all that kind of stuff.
I'm going to be Jasmine and my boyfriend's going to be Aladdin. It's one of my favorite Disney movies.
I'm going to be a mermaid for Halloween. Oh, a merman for Halloween because I'm part amphibious anyways, so might as well stick to the, plan.
I'm going to be something basic, probably like a bunny or like a Greek goddess.
Whether you are trick-or-treating, carving pumpkins, going to a Halloween party, or staying in and watching scary movies, make sure to be safe and eat lots of candy.
I'm Raquel Navarro in Fullerton reporting for OC News. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Don't forget to join us on social media. We would love to have you contact us if you see any newsworthy story. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and lastly, YouTube, all under the handle OC News CSUF.
That's all for today's show. Thanks again for joining us on OC News. We will see you again next week, and you can always watch our reruns of our shows on YouTube.
Have a good night.